Blackaby, send me a hey, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of BlackUSA Crypto News. Oh gosh, I am Black Wall Street. I'm here with the author of I Am Black Wall Street, Donnie Glover. How you feeling?
Feeling real author-like.
All right. I Am Black Wall Street. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the book before we hop into some other business with this?
So those who know me know I've been giving away these Black Wall Street Awards for about 10 years now. We've given away nearly 1,800 of these plaques in over a dozen U.S. cities. The goal is to, one, help preserve little-known Black Wall Street history, and then secondly, to encourage entrepreneurship beginning in the Black community. And so, being the business person that I am, I always wanted to have a book, one, to share with people who come to these Black Wall Street ceremonies about the history, but also as a business person, it makes no sense to keep pulling together events and you don't have multiple streams of income. So with this year being the 100th commemoration of the destruction of Tulsa's Black Wall Street, it only made sense, with this being our 10th year of the awards. I didn't know that when we first started, that those 2 years would coincide. It only made sense to come out with a book on Black Wall Street. Now, not one to mimic what's already out there. The scholar in me, the journalist in me, wanted to answer this question: how did those people get to Oklahoma in the first place? Where did they come from? What drove them to, of all places, Oklahoma, which was formerly Indian territory? And we write in the book what I find, and we find that, just as in this map, the story started here in Florida, and then the story extended to Kansas. Oklahoma was a part of a continuum, a long continuum that I trace back 500 years, a long continuum of freedom fighters that included freedom fighters and freedom colonies. So that's about it in a nutshell.
Well, so, like you said, this is the 100th anniversary of the book, or not the book, but the destruction of Black Wall Street. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. But I did want to show something that's very significant, you being not just a business person, but also being very visionary. We put this together, the I Am Black Wall Street NFT. So what does it NFT stand for, Donnie?
Non-fungible tokens.
See, he's trying to sit here in front on people like he doesn't know nothing about crypto, but he knows what NFT stands for.
I watched this show. You schooled us.
All right. Fair enough. You can find this NFT on OpenSea, which is really the largest NFT marketplace out there. I'm happy to work in collaboration with Donnie in getting these out. We minted 10 of these NFTs. So if you picked up this book and you happen to get it autographed and you are even want to take your collector experience to the next level, go to OpenSea, check out this NFT, pick it up, and it will greatly support our efforts here at BlackUSA News. It will greatly support the efforts of Donnie Glover and what he's trying to accomplish. And really, it's a thank you to all the people out there who support us. So, hey, support our mission. Pick it up. There's plenty to go around. And the first 3 are going to be available for the next few weeks here till the end of the year. and we'll see where it goes from there. How's that sound, Donnie?
It sounds good. I got to get one. I need to get one today.
You know, the cool thing that OpenSea allows you to do is you don't have to just buy these with crypto. You can use your credit card now, and you can buy your NFT collection. So, you know, feel free to go there with your debit card and make something happen. So, you know, I don't want to take up too much more of your time because I know you're a busy man on a Friday night and you got things popping. So,
well, let me just say that last night we had our Black Wall Street reunion event. It included some of your comrades there on the West Coast, some of your comrades here on the East Coast, and it was just a great turnout. We honored some media icons here in the city of Baltimore. We will be taking the show on the road. Can't wait to get a date back in Harlem, also one in Washington, D.C. And if you want us to bring the Black Wall Street Awards to your community, just call me. I'm old school, 443-858-2684. Old school, 443-858-2684. I prefer that. Just call me. Did you get my email? Just call me. 443-858-2684. Also, let me say, Kamal, and I can't wait to see what Maccabee will be talking about, but we welcome Maccabee. His show is starting in less than 24 hours, all the way from Indianapolis, Naptown, Indiana. And we're really, really grateful to have made this connection last week, using this very same network, same platform on the authors, the virtual book fair that we had. And he has, I think he told me like 250,000 voices in his head, 250,000 different characters that he can animate. And people hire him to do the audio for their books. So I know you have a book. I know I have a book. And that's how we met. And we're doing business already.
Yep. To correct, it's 349,914.
Okay.
Precise.
350,000 voices.
Well, technically, by using the ratios and the various labor laden effects, with the traits of various people, the way we speak, the various things like male, female, if it's breathy, is it not, their age, all that stuff, if they have an accent, technically, if we look at the ratios and everything, it's 349,914. Right now I'm working on 20. If I can get my 20 down, then I'll continue on after that. But I've got a couple of them that I do. I've got George. George speaks like this. He's very funny. Then I've got Lamont. Lamont does something like this. He's very funny, very, very happy with other kids. Oh. Then you got Jean, who's more like this. He's very, very uptight, per se. But yeah, there's a variety of them when I do. I gotta do Drill Sergeant Rockville. I got a friend of mine who, if she sees it, then it sounds more like this. It's very good, very loud, and very important. So, just a few.
That's what I'm talking about. Thanks for joining on super short notice, Mr. Griffin. I'm happy to welcome you to the BlackUSA News family. And, you know, like I said, Donnie, I know you got a lot of stuff going on. If I could grab Mr. Griffin for another couple minutes, I'd love to talk about the premise of his show coming up on our network. Thanks, Donnie. So, Mr. Griffin, pleased to meet you. And thanks again for joining the show. I mean, hey.
No worries. Please call me Maccabee. Call me
Maccabee. That's a little bit better. You're right. We're family, so it shouldn't really be formal like that. But I always defer on the side of respect. So
I understand. I understand completely. That's literally how I am. Actually, let me bring this out just a bit so you can hear me better. Hello, everyone.
So, how did you get into voiceover acting and performance?
I grew up in the theater. I grew up singing, and it was just something that I was born to do. But it's been a long road. There was a lot of times where I was not really thinking that I would do it. I was thinking it was more of a hobby. But it decided to, after coming out of the military and doing that for almost 10 years, I had to just decide to be me again. And I found Dungeons and Dragons, out of all things. It got me interested in it, and it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. It was fun. And so I decided to just continue doing it, find voice coaches out there to help me, find people who would give me, create the demos for me and stuff like that. And I've been doing it professionally for about a little over 2 years right now. But I've been able to do a lot of different things. I've been able to do promos. I've been able to do able to do narrations for a TV show that's going to be airing this winter called Planet Wild TV. It'll be on TBD sometime this winter. As soon as I know, then everybody else will know. Been able to do character voices for a short animated film in Amsterdam that went all across Europe, and it did very well at the film festivals. And I've been able to work on audiobooks. So, it's been a roller coaster, is for sure.
So how's the brother from Amsterdam sound?
The brother from Amsterdam, he actually, one of the characters is my voice, my specific voice. The other one is he's a little bit like Drill Sergeant Rockfeld, just a little bit lighter. So it's let me see if I can remember. It's more like this. Dang it, I can't tell whether or not this person has a face or not because I don't want to figure it out. It's disturbing and I do not want to look at it. More or less, something like that.
That sounds like a dude from Amsterdam.
A little bit of
Who might be a little upset about something.
Yeah, just a little bit of Cockney, a little bit of London-ish, but yeah, the accents are a little bit different. I haven't worked on them for a little over a year, so I had to go deep back in there and figure out who it was and where he was at. So
no problem. See, that's the thing. I'm asking you all this stuff on the fly, so it just shows
good.
How much of a professional you are, how well studied and well trained that you are. So I put up your social media coordinates here so people can see and check you out and make sure, they check out your show. Can you tell us more about your show and when it comes on here on the network?
Yeah, absolutely. It will be tomorrow afternoon at noon Eastern Standard Time, and it is called Beyond the Pen. It's where we bring on authors to tell their stories about their books, but not only their books, but also about themselves. That way people can actually feel like they know the author a little bit more personal, because we find that when people actually know a little bit more about the author and how they act about certain things, or just how they are just personally, then it makes them feel like they just want to support them better. It's just like you said, we want to treat each other like family, so we want to make sure that our authors feel that same way. And I've been, thankfully, because this was a short notice thing, I actually started working on this last weekend. So I was told that, and then we had a couple of things go up and down, and thankfully I've been able to talk to a bunch of authors, and they're happy to be on there. So far so good. But it'll be fun. It'll definitely be fun. Actually, we're going to be talking to Donnie tomorrow afternoon about his book. He's my very first guest, so it'll be fun.
Well, hey, be sure to mention the NFT and
Oh yeah,
quiz
absolutely.
him some more on his crypto knowledge. He seems to act like he doesn't know anything about crypto, but secretly, who knows? He's probably a real Bitcoin maximalist.
He probably is. He's probably got a few streams here and there. He's just not saying anything about.
So, what's your familiarity with blockchain or crypto? Or do you have any familiarity with it? Or
I honestly do not. I honestly don't. I have no clue about any of it. So it'll be interesting. I want to learn, because like I said, we all need, these 2, 3, 5, 7, 10 different streams of income anymore just to survive. And especially now, but I want to be able to actually set something up for my kids too, so they can actually don't have to struggle as much as me and their mom have. So
that's something actually I've gotten into somewhat by happenstance. I'm helping artists get involved and understand crypto and NFTs a lot better. And I did an NFT offering back in 2018. I don't talk much about it because it's a long story for definitely another day. But I kind of shied away from the NFT scene for quite some time based on that interaction. Got into DeFi, decentralized finance, last year, and wrote a book myself called DeFi for the Diaspora. And so DeFi is a subset. It's a subsector of cryptocurrencies and blockchain, just like NFTs are a subsector. But now we're starting to see the two converge. So I'm getting pulled back into NFTs of late. I say that to say this, if you ever need help trying to understand this, or if you ever need some assistance in trying to get into NFTs, because now what's happening is NFTs are not just still static images. They are audio, they are video. And, it sounds like you got a lot of really good things happening, and you're developing a fan base. And this is a way to give back to your fan base, engage with them. And then they also give back to you. They show appreciation for you as an artist. And so, hey, if you create like a cartoon or a voiceover that like has someone's name on it for their birthday, put it up as an NFT, and it's something that they obviously will never forget, right?
Oh yeah, or if absolutely.
Probably some really good ways, and you have some pretty good ideas. Like I said, feel free to reach out to me. That's pretty much
absolutely, man.
Some of the fun I'm doing on the side with this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think definitely because if you notice, like Hallmark has been putting out, attaching like the codes attached to the cards itself, and someone takes a screenshot of that, and all of a sudden you got 3, 4, up to 5, 6 different people saying happy birthday to you through video. It's like one of those things. Why not have voiceover? Because here's the other thing I really love to do is as a storyteller myself, I love listening to stories. I love hearing people's personal stories, because we can all learn something from them. And having the capability of working with people to tell their stories is always fun to me, because there's so many people that, who are not, celebrities, who are not very well-known people that, have great stories, just like all those other people that are more well-known. And those stories are as important as anything else. For instance, I have a friend of mine who has a business. Her name is Kara Long, and she owns a company called The Memory Collective. And so what she does is she takes people's stories, transcribes them for them, and hands them a book. But they also have audio files too that they can keep. And we were working on a project for her family, and one of those is because of her great uncle who was a World War II vet who passed away and last February. And he had so many great stories. Thankfully, he had kept his discharge paperwork, and I was going through it because as someone who has a discharge paperwork of his own, it's you understand when looking at it what it all means. And because he was a plane and engine mechanic, he was able to, during World War II on D-Day, he was one of those that was following the First Army through from the Omaha in France all the way up through Germany. And every time that line would move up, they would have to create a new airfield. And so one of the things that they had to deal with was dealing with the opportunity for the enemy to come around and flank them to get to the First Army. So they had to be on guard with them. They had, prisoners of war coming back. They had the wounded coming back from the front lines. So he had to do a lot more than just be a mechanic. But one of the stories that he had is that prior to D-Day, they had to go out in the middle of the night with a flashlight, a paintbrush, and a white paint can and paint white stripes on all of the Allied planes, because that way that we would know which ones were ours and which ones were not, because a lot of our planes had been captured by the Nazis at that time. So that was one of the stories that most people don't know. I never knew about I knew I saw white stripes on them. I just didn't know what they were for. So for stuff like that, that's what I love doing. I love telling stories, and everybody's story is very important because they have some type of wisdom that they can share to the next generation.
Absolutely. And, once again, that's some of the magic of NFTs is you can tell those stories in the NFT and, pass them down, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I don't want to take up too much more of your time
either, good, man.
On a Friday night. Like I said, we just kind of pulled you in here to give people a preview of your show. There's some things I want to talk about crypto. You're more than welcome to join me, but
I will be happy to watch you. I will be happy to watch you in the background, man. I thank you for your time, and I will be watching the whole time.
Feel free to stick with me then. We'll talk about some of these things. I'll run some of these things by you too. I'm happy to have you as my guest. So let's go back to this NFT that we were talking about a little bit earlier.
Okay.
This NFT is on OpenSea, and it is priced at currently just around $35. So right now there's 3 on the market. And like I said, that'll be like that till the end of the month. But something else I did just for the BlackUSA crypto news fans is I made another BlackUSA crypto news NFT. This is cheaper. It's $15. So, fans of the show who want to pick this up, feel free to pick it up. I only minted 3 of these on OpenSea just to test the waters. So we'll see where this goes to. Ultimately, there can be a BlackUSA news series of crypto.
Ooh, nice.
Or series of NFTs, actually. Let me bring this back up and show everyone, if we look here, this is the official BlackUSA News NFT collection. So if we see here, these are the 2 items, the BlackUSA Crypto News NFT and the I Am Black Wall Street NFT. I'm looking forward to all of the content creators. That might be a little ambitious, but a lot of the content creators getting their NFTs up there. And like I said, I'm also looking forward to working with other content creators on the platform who just want to get their own collections together. I'm happy to help them. And of course, you at home too. If when I find the time, for sure, just be sure to contact me. I'm happy to help you guys. So that being said, when are we going to see a Beyond the Pen NFT?
Ooh, that could be. I think probably probably at the beginning of the year, just because I'm getting stuff still put together for the show. I'm getting various authors from around the U.S. and Canada to actually be a part of it. Thankfully, because of the connections that I've been able to make with a lot of publishing companies recently, they're going to be trying to push their authors onto the show a little bit more, give them a platform to present themselves. But I'm gonna probably need to talk to you a little bit offline on that one, just to get some ideas to see what we can do about that. Because I think it would be kind of cool. Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool.
Not a problem. I think that's a great idea myself. So, there was a lot of stuff that was going on this week in crypto, and in fact, just kind of on the NFT side of things, I don't know if you play video games or anything like that, but
oh yeah,
have you heard of the game publisher Ubisoft?
I have not yet, but I have to look it up now.
Yeah, it's UBI Soft, and I'm trying to think they produced Far Cry or published Far Cry. I don't know.
You're talking about okay. I thought you were talking about something different. Yes, Ubisoft. Yeah, I know about them. I've been playing their games since the early 2000s. One of the big ones when it first came out on PlayStation was Cypher something. I can't remember what it was. Siphon Filter. That's what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Between that, the Assassin's Creed games, there's a variety of different ones that they've created. But yeah, they're big names in the game industry.
Exactly. So they are going to be creating a line of NFTs for some of the Robert Clancy games and Assassin's Creed, I think,
Tom
as
Clancy?
well.
You mean Tom Clancy?
Or Tom Clancy. Why did I say Robert Clancy? But Tom Clancy, you're right.
No. Well, say Robert. Robert's a different guy.
No,
his brother.
You're right. The Tom Clancy series, they're going to be creating like skins and different items and drops that will be NFTs within the game. So that was a big thing that got announced. Cool. And
that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, this is where blockchain gaming seems to be poised to be the next big thing, the next pop in blockchain. So, we did obviously crypto and then ERC20s, NFTs or NFT 1.0, DeFi 1.0, moving into DeFi 2.0 and NFT 2.0. But blockchain gaming is starting to become a reality.
Yeah, because here's the thing that I've noticed a lot in the industries, in the game industry, is that there's a lot less content with the physical games anymore, or the digital games, and a lot more of the DLCs, the downloaded content. And if you look at a lot of big names, big companies like EA, they've been doing it for years. But like Fortnite is a big one. I've never played it really, but I know a lot about it because I have a teenager too. So there's a lot of different games. Like Marvel's got a lot of different games coming out that are coming out next year that are really big on DLCs, and putting an NFT with a lot of those DLCs would definitely, I could see that working really well with the companies, just because there's so much little content from, like you said, skins for the characters to new areas to play, especially for multiplayer games and stuff. So yeah, I could definitely see Ubisoft doing that real easily. And if I don't see freaking companies like EA or what's another one, Bethesda, and some of the other big companies doing that for their games next year, then they're going to be left behind.
Yeah, well, it's actually they're starting to make those partnerships with various blockchain networks, and it's interesting that you bring up Marvel last week. So I was a bit of a coin collector before I really got into crypto, and I would collect a lot of the mute. They would have the official coin of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah.
the Spider-Man No Way Home is they have their coin, which will be released as an NFT.
Really?
Yeah. So that's
Ooh.
this is like collectibles, right? This is going back into NFTs and what they are. It's all about the collectability and tying them in and engagement with fans. And so it's becoming really cool. I probably will try to find the actual physical coin because I got a really nice one for Spider-Man Homecoming. And I mean, like if you're a collector or a fan, there's something to having something in a very like nice box and having like the velvet and these are my
minis for Dungeons and Dragons. I've got a bunch of them up top. So yeah, I could see who's the company? I can't remember.
Marvel?
Wizards of the Coast. Sorry, Wizards of the Coast. Okay. I freaking huge brain fart. Wizard of the Coast does a lot of things for Dungeons and Dragons. This is one of their biggest games, tabletop games. So I could even see, even with tabletop games, that this be happening too, because there is so much content that's going virtual. Because people aren't able to get together as much because of all the because of the pandemic and stuff. So you got companies like Roll20. You've got independent companies other than I can't even think of some of the other ones. So there's like 3, 4, 5 different companies that are working with Wizards of the Coast to just create stuff, digital and physical. So it would not surprise me if they started to do NFTs.
Yeah,
would not.
I think that's just where everything is going. So, as you were speaking, I was prepping a few other things that are crypto related. We're kind of move out of I hate to say move out of the entertainment field, but we're not.
Go for it.
Because
why not?
I don't know if you saw this on CNN. So there's obviously tax season is coming up. CNN Business has their crypto tax guide, which, of course, anything you see on my show is for informational purposes only. It's not tax advice, legal advice, or financial advice. So, if you don't know and you need some guidance, you can check that out. But in particular, there was actually this really interesting piece here. Do you know who this gentleman is?
Not by just looking at him. No, I do not.
I forget his name too, but he's the guy. He played in Gotham. He was one of the characters in Gotham.
Yeah, he played Batman's father. I can't remember the father's name, but I know who you're talking about now.
He played some character, and
I think it was the father. Yeah, I think it was Bruce Wayne's father. He was the cop. He was a cop in Gotham.
Correct.
Yeah.
And like I said, I didn't follow the show too much, but in this piece in CNN, and you guys should check it out. I don't want to play it here because I don't want to get our platform in trouble. But essentially, the gist of this piece is talking about he's teamed up with an author himself who wrote a book about cryptocurrency fraud, right? And cryptocurrency scams and cryptocurrency criticism.
Yeah.
You know, and what's interesting about this, because, you know, when I see this, I see something completely different than, you know, the typical person. Or I don't mean to say it like that, but someone showed it to me and they're like, oh, look at this guy. He's a crypto critic. And I'm like, okay, basically, he's criticizing a lot of celebrities out there who get people into crypto unwittingly. And there are a lot of cryptocurrency projects that will also partner with celebrities and get celebrity tie-ins, right?
Right.
As a means of marketing, of mass marketing. A lot of
Ben
those
McKenzie.
projects. What was that?
Ben McKenzie. He plays oh my gosh. I had it and lost it. James Gordon. That's it.
Commissioner Gordon, right?
Commissioner Gordon. Yes.
Yeah. That's exactly who this guy is. He teamed up, like I said, with another author. And they're talking, I guess they are detailing various frauds from Hollywood that intersect with cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, I've noticed that there's a lot of that going around, especially here. Besides Hollywood, there's a lot of influencers that have been like well known with the millennials and younger kids that have been brought into a lot of these fraudulent transactions, and it's started to hurt their influence around the world, and they've lost a lot of business, a lot of sponsors because of it. And it is a sad thing because it's so broad that a lot of people will, because of, like you said, with the celebrities being a part of it, the influencers being a part of it, they're just hitting a lot of people to go, oh, okay, if Ben McKenzie can do it and he's good with it, then I'm going to go with it if he was one of them. But, you know, it is that idea that that's why, you know, advertisements and marketing, digital marketing deals with a lot of celebrities and a lot of influencers because they can bring in that audience. They can get a broader audience for whatever product or service it is. And especially with crypto, yeah, absolutely. I can definitely see why he would be straight up front with this there, because there is so much of it out there in Hollywood and just around the world in general.
Yeah. So you're right. There is fraud in crypto, and there's a reason for fraud. And I don't cover that a lot. I'm a certified fraud examiner. I got this certification, you know, when I started to do my independent research in blockchain. And the main reason for fraud in crypto is due to the lack of people's general knowledge of how blockchain technology works. And so basically, let's just say me, right? Hey, Maccabee, I'm an expert, you know, in crypto. Trust me, right? So a lot of it is confidence.
Yeah.
It's a confidence scheme. And there are a lot of con men in crypto. Absolutely. And, you know, yes, we could sit here and have a whole show on the con men of crypto, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's why a lot of times what people will hear as an adage or a maxim within crypto is DYOR, or do your own research.
Yes.
Have you heard that before?
Yeah, because here's the thing. I've been taken for that. I actually was. Between my transitioning between my full-time job when COVID hit, I was the breadwinner. So there was a lot of, we didn't have any money besides my pension coming in. My wife hadn't started work yet because she was just getting out of school. And, you know, I got into the whole thing of like, oh, someone's going to help me with this, give me give me a stream of income coming in, and all I had to do was just certain things with it. I had so much money going through my accounts, it was not even funny. And I was one of those that was trying to do the research on it, but the information was hit and miss. There was a lot of things that were good, but there was a lot of things that weren't. So it was really hard to figure out what the red flags were and what weren't. And when I was transitioning the money through, I basically just became an unknown launderer in crypto. And so when people always tried to talk to me about crypto, I was like, I'm not touching it again. I am not touching it at all, because this is what happened in my past. I'm done with it. I don't want to deal with it. So, yeah.
Hey, it's so unfortunate, and I hate to hear that. I have my own stories of crypto fraud. I could basically, that's not in the next book I'm going to write, but that'll probably be a book that I write on crypto fraud.
Yeah.
In just all the fraud that I've personally experienced, all the fraud that I've seen. And I mean, like, I'm telling you, like, people with newborn children who were brought into Bitcoin scams. And just, I will never forget seeing some of these people telling their stories about how they got burned really bad. And once again, just like you, hey, I'm trying to provide for my family, right? And for somebody to do something like that, I mean, you probably have better military training in terms of how to deal with somebody than I do when it comes to that. But yeah, so you get some military tactics up on them and touch them up a little bit.
There's some points that I really, really do want to find out who it really was, but I'm going to let God deal with that. He's put me in a place where I'm good at now, and I'm getting the work that I need to help bring in money, as my wife is now the breadwinner. So I'm now a stay-at-home dad as well as a voice actor. So it is one of those things, like, we're okay on money. We struggle sometimes, just because we don't manage it the best we can, but it's still something there. So I'm just going to let him deal with it.
That's probably the best way. You'll be able to live your life a lot better. But every now and then I digress to some like I said, these violent military tactics.
straight violence. Oh yeah. Yeah. I accept that notion very well. Trust me, there are many times in my mind that, like, I've got so many ways of just hurting somebody physically, mentally, emotionally, that just I try to keep that dark side of me just set aside and just let that past be the past.
Yeah.
And what's funny, I think it's funny, is that I was the one thing that the military always teaches you is that you are, for me, it was the Army. So you're a soldier first, and then your MOS, which is your military occupational specialty. Mine was logistics. So I've learned how to mess with people logistically, but I keep that aside to, little tricks that need to be stay in the back, but doesn't mean that I can't do anything else that a soldier, an infantryman can do. I had to learn everything the same way they did.
Well, hey, like I said, you're better off health-wise, right? By just, letting stuff like that go.
Legal-wise too. Yeah.
Legal-wise too. But once again, I say that to say that, and that's my approach, right? Like, I could be on here, week in, week out, or every day on YouTube talking about, oh, buy this coin, buy that coin, buy this coin, buy that coin, buy, right?
Yeah.
And, not worry about what happens to people, right? And just worry about myself.
Absolutely.
My approach is a lot different, right? I put up those disclaimers that, hey, look, I'm just trying to get information so people can do their own research. I don't often talk about things about how much money I made in crypto. I mean, I could tell you, you're going to lose money in crypto. If you get into it, you're going to lose money. You're going to make mistakes. People don't say these sort of things, right?
Yeah.
So you need to be prepared. That's a big thing is mindset. I try my best to really, the people I work with is, hey, you have to have a mindset to be ready. You obviously want to put yourself in the best position to win, but you also have to understand that losing is part of this. It's not going to be 100% win all the time, make money all the time. It's not going to be that. And if you don't have the proper mindset, you get stuck in your losses. I've been through that. And what I try to do is, hey, give the people I work with resources to say, hey, read this book so you have the best possible mindset to understand what's going to happen with your money. If you have a big win, what do you do with it? It's not Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
And if you have a big loss, how do you learn from that loss to once again put yourself and set yourself up for the next win? So, that's not the popular thing, but it's the responsible thing, right?
It is. Yeah. And you're right. You have to treat your clientele, your customers like family, because if you don't, then they're not going to trust you. So if you treat them just as you would treat someone in your family that you really like and trust, then you're going to give them the same knowledge that you want on yourself, because you want to be able to be successful and you want those around you to be successful, because when they're successful, then it means that they're going to talk more about you from a business point of view. They're going to refer you more, which means you're going to have more business coming your way, and you're able to teach more people. And it means that's why I always tell people, I don't have clients, I don't have customers, I have family. Because when you treat them like family, like I said before, you're going to give the best of your best to them, because you would want someone to do that for you too. So being knowledgeable about whatever your service is, crypto being a big one now, like you said, for your show, because of it's changing all the time, you're right. It's a roller coaster. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, you're going to be having high peaks, and you're going to have deep valleys sometimes. Not all the time, but as long as you're responsible and you are knowledgeable about what's going on, you do your research, then you're going to understand what you're getting into, because nothing is perfect.
Yes, and there are crypto is definitely a place where you will understand the law of unintended consequences as well. So, I can't stress enough, there are some people who say, hey, what do I do to just make money, right? And it's like, well, if you want to do that, be ready to do a lot of reading, do a lot of research, do a lot of analysis. And I have a 9-to-5 job, so there's only so much of this that I can do. And don't get me wrong, I'm clearly very passionate about it, and there's a lot that I like about it, but I still got to go to work every day. I got to drive in, and I got to come home, and I got to do. I can't sit at a screen and look at charts and do stuff like that, which I like I said, but I can't.
Why?
And to the stuff that I even do I do to a fault. I spend too much of my extra time doing it, and so I need to find a way myself to unplug from this. But I don't know. I wouldn't. I'm highly passionate about it, and I'm highly passionate about helping us as a collective. And first and foremost, I want to help the people who need the most help. And that's people who look like us. But I do help other folks, and, it's almost just as satisfying to see them see the light bulb go off in just a person,
Yeah.
So, I never thought or wanted to be a teacher, but, I kind of get that little boost of adrenaline that teachers get when they see kids understanding something on the lesson plan. So, hat tip to the teachers who really got it much harder than I do, right?
Oh,
Especially
yeah.
now in COVID, right?
Oh yeah, I always said before. I said even before COVID hit that teachers needed to get paid a whole lot more for what they do. After COVID, we might as well be paying them like celebrities. Take the money from the celebrities, give it to the teachers, give it to the police officers, give it to the firefighters, the service people that actually do stuff on a daily basis for us. That is something that can, make our lives better. Because my kids, oh my gosh, there were so many times like, I just want you to go away. I don't even know what the heck you're talking about, let alone I got an older kid coming in to me. He's like, hey, can you help me with my algebra? No. I sucked at algebra. I sucked at algebra. But yeah, it is, like you said, it's something that when it comes to teachers, I can see the passion in your eyes, in your voice alone that you have for telling people about crypto, telling just financial advice in general. And it is something that I always tell people personally, because, I did the 9 to 5 forever on end, and I was never happy. I always felt like I was supposed to be somewhere else. I was supposed to be doing something else, but I just didn't take that leap of faith. And when I did, and I started doing something I'm very passionate about, then I felt a lot happier. I'm less angry with my family because I'm less angry with myself. But I always tell people, if you have a passion for something, then you need to embrace that and do it. If you love teaching people about crypto, about NFTs, about just financial advice in general, because there's one thing that there is missing within our generation is that we were not taught a lot about money. And I'm pretty sure that if we'd had those teachings when we were little, besides what our parents were trying to push into our minds, then I'm sure a lot of us would have been in a lot better place than we are now. And, telling your story about you having a book out there, and, having people read your book about your words, and I'll give an example of one of the things that I want to be talking with authors about is when you wrote a book. I'm going to ask you specifically this. Come on. What is your goal when someone is reading your book? What do you want them to leave after they shut that book and they've learned from it? What is the one thing you want them to learn from that book?
Oh, are you asking me now, or are you?
Yeah, I'm asking you now.
I was waiting to be on your show to answer the question, but
give people a preview. Give people a preview.
Since you're putting me on the spot.
Yes.
Honestly, I appreciate that question, but and that's a good question for every author. And what it was an accumulation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it really started with Oscar Grant and continued with Trayvon Martin and Tamir Rice and George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Sandra Bland, Tatiana Jefferson. And just like a lot of people, it moved people to hit the streets last year in protests. It finally drove me to write this story because, this happens clearly because we're Black, but there is a component of it because we don't have the financial apparatus to punish people. Or not so much punish people, but have the financial apparatus to properly have a defense in court or have the legal resources to once again exercise justice. So that's why financial literacy is important for us.
Yes.
It's going to be important for the generation that comes after us and putting them in a place to where this is a capitalist country, right? I'm sorry that it's like that. I didn't make it like that. And in the legal industry that is driven by capitalism, you need to have capital intensive resources in order to get justice sometimes. Once again, there is a racial component that supersedes that issue or that component of finance. But we need to get the financial house in order. And, we're dealing with a racial wealth gap, and we're also dealing with a digital divide as well. That those two things put together would seem as though they're insurmountable. But knowing what Black people have survived and endured and still accomplished and had those things taken away from them, but still endured and survived and can walk around with dignity and still create and tap into a certain type of ingenuity. We now have this technology with a very low barrier of entry. If you have a connection to the internet, you can basically interact with this technology that has the ability to create this equitable and sustainable economy and financial system that we've deserved ever since, our participation here in the United States and really globally, right? To have a global system where we can have equity with one another, trade at an arm's length, and it not be predatory, and it not be, some of the issues that I do have with capitalism is it's too predatory and it is too cutthroat. But once again, here is an opportunity to reimagine money and how we interact with it and strip those labels off. There you have socialists pointing at capitalists in terms of why money is bad. Well, let's strip away those labels of socialism and capitalism altogether and create a new money for ourselves that serves our best interests and needs. So that's what I want people, when they finish the book and they close it, they start thinking about this. And am I saying we need to have one prevailing Black currency out there for the world? No, I'm not saying that. Just like you go from country to country, you're going to have currency to currency, and you're going to have currencies that suit better use cases more so than another. But let's get in control of those networks. Let's get in control of how we interact with them. And you know what? This kind of leads me. Sorry, I'm going to segue to
you're good. Go for it. Go for it.
The last piece here, the last news story that I want to share with yourself and the audience is, so the Southern Poverty Law Center has examined Bitcoin and a privacy coin called Monero. And they're saying that right-wing extremists and white supremacists are using Bitcoin and Monero in order to fund these extremist operations. Now, this is nothing new for anyone who's in crypto. It's very well known that, white supremacists use crypto because they can't go to banks and they can't use GoFundMe, or at least most of them, the real extreme ones, can't use banks or GoFundMe or PayPal or any of those rails to receive funding. But my overall proposition is, okay, we have these white extremists that are doing these sort of things. We don't need to put the focus on that so much, because if they can do that, imagine all of the things that we can do. Right? And not just in self-defense, but once again, tapping into that ingenuity and in creation of new things that are going to give better credit and respect and value to our time and labor. So, I definitely wanted to share that. This is an interesting report, once again, by the Southern Poverty Law Center. It talks about a lot of the, white supremacists that I cover in my book in talking about this subject as well. So, there's starting to get more and more coverage. And in fact, I got pulled into something in social media recently around this. And it's like, they're basically saying, hey, crypto is a scam, and crypto is being used by, these extremist groups. So, Black people need to stay away from it, essentially. And I'm like, come on, man, that's so short-sighted in thinking here.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I'm just trying to raise awareness, and I can answer the question of what decentralized finance is. I can answer the question of how you do this. But right now, what people need to understand is why. Once you understand what it is, you need to understand why it's important for us at this time, before the U.S. government bans it or regulates it so much that it's not even worth using, right? Now's our time to create that ecosystem. And it's a parallel system, in my opinion. We're not turning our back on the legacy financial system. We're just saying, hey, you know what? When it's time to deal with that system, when we absolutely need to, we will. But when we want to be treated equally and with equality and equity, we're going to use our system.
Yeah.
It's open source. I'm not a developer. That's the problem. And developers out there right now, I mean, hey, it's a very sought after skill, and they get paid handsomely for it. And once again, this is a capitalist country, so more power to them if they want to go out and make some money. But at some point, we got to come together as a collective and say, hey, we need to redo this financial system that's been doing us dirty for so long.
And I agree with that. I do. I believe that the more knowledge you have about a specific subject, the better you are when making your decisions, and the better you are when it comes to understanding the context around whatever that subject is. And the more that you can do that, the more that you can spread the knowledge to other people, because like the old adage is, knowledge is power. And when you feel like you have knowledge about something, even though it's always going to change, because like life itself, everything's going to change. The market is going to change. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. It's going to left, right, everything in between. And you have to understand why it's doing it. What are the outside factors that are creating this, whatever it is, the up and the peaks and the valleys? When you can understand what's going around everything, then you have a better understanding of how to make your decisions, especially when it comes to money. And like you said, the more knowledge we have, the better we will be able to make those decisions and take the power back for ourselves.
100%. Like I said, that's the goal. But we got a lot of work to do, and that is, something I also don't I don't minimize the amount of work that needs to be done. So 2022, I have some degree of an action plan for myself. But you know what, Maccabee, I really appreciate you taking time out on short notice to introduce yourself to my audience. So folks need to check out your show. Tell them again where they can find you and your show.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be here on this channel. It's called Beyond the Pen, and it is tomorrow on Saturdays at noon Eastern time. Every Saturday we will bring on a new author. Kamal be one of them, most likely. So we've already got a preview for that. Tomorrow we will have Mr. Donnie Glover talking about his book, I Am Wall Street, excuse me. And that way we can allow others to know not only the book and what it's about, but what the person behind the pen is about. And you
hey, when the time comes, I'll be happy to be your guest, and I wish you much luck and success, even though I don't need to wish you much luck, but much success.
No, I need that. I need that. I need that.
This is it's fun, it's rewarding, and be sure to check out Mr. Maccabee Griffin at his various social media handles and locations that are right here on the screen. Also, be sure to pick up that I Am Black Wall Street NFT. You can get the BlackUSA Crypto News NFT too if you're a real collector. It's really nicely priced at $15 for the holidays. But in the meantime, everybody have a safe and relaxing holiday season. We'll see you next time here on